Chief of Defense Staff Brigadier General Nunoo Mensah says government did a poor job in signing the Ghana-US military cooperation agreement. According to the former CDS, Parliament must also be criticized for the way it politicized the matter when it came before the House. He maintains the deal opens Ghana to terror attacks and undermines the country's sovereignty. He's been speaking at a forum organized by the Ghana First Patriotic Front in Accra to press on their demand for a rescission of the deal ratified by Parliament.
A close study of the agreement will suggest to me that the government had not studied the agreement comprehensively to understand its full implications vis-à-vis our own security before submitting it to Parliament for ratification. Parliament too played politics with the all-important agreement. The NDC in opposition boycotted the proceedings in Parliament. The ruling MPP went full ahead and ratified the agreement without any dissent. It was a black day for our country. Today, we are professors, long degrees, and you tell me that you couldn't understand what was in for us in this agreement? We are looking for trouble. When we are going to join America to fight the terror war, we are looking for terror. When there's no need for that, this is what late President Mills meant when he said, "Zi ufie asem." Proponents of this agreement say that Ghana stands to benefit by way of training which our troops will receive from American soldiers, American personnel, who would be stationed in the country. Training exercises have existed between Ghana and the United States of America, between us and many countries. Even during the Nkrumah regime, I was in the army at the time. I trained at Sandhurst in Britain, while some were training in the Soviet Union at the same time. These exchanges inure to the mutual benefits of all of us. After 61 years of independence, it does not make sense to me that we should continue to depend on outside powers to train our armed forces. We are people with sufficient training and experience to manage our own affairs.
Meanwhile, Senior Research Fellow at the Legon Center for International Affairs, Dr. Ahorsu, says the recent Ghana-US military cooperation agreement was done without input from high-ranking military personnel or Foreign Affairs Ministry. He's of the view the deal is one that leaves Ghana in a vulnerable position with no tangible benefits.
In 2007, when the Kufuor government was in power, a U.S. general called T. Robbins had actually come and discussed the establishment of a base in Ghana. And all this was agreed upon that eventually, the initial part was the building of the new embassy, and the base was supposed to follow. I wanted to share an article written by Gabi Ochridaku, and it was written specifically for President Mills, which was urging President Mills that Ghana has oil status. The U.S. wants a base, and Ghana has to strategize and bring in the U.S. to have a base here so that we can become a strategic country and a stable country. What will Ghana benefit should we have a base with the U.S.? One is that we'll be a friend of the most powerful country in the world. Ghana is a littoral state. Littoral state simply means that we have a coastline along the Gulf of Guinea where the oil can be exported and that sort of thing. So it will be able to use its land forces when it has to move up north to Mali and Niger, and it can use its air forces and naval forces. So Ghana provides a very ideal situation. There is a lot of U.S. investment that is going on. in West Africa. The West African gas pipeline is almost wholly owned by what? ExxonMobil and Shell industry.
Still on the Ghana First Forum, managing editor of the Insight newspaper, Kwesi Pratt, believes the deal is dead on arrival. He says the impression is that there were similar cooperation agreements in 1998, 2015. He thinks that that is unmerited. According to him, all those agreements are not binding as the Supreme Court has ruled in the Gitmo 2 matter.
We are told that, there were agreements before, and that those agreements have tied the hands of this government. I'd like to submit here and forcefully that there is no agreement before. Whatever was signed with the Americans in 1998, 2015 and so on, they are all worthless pieces of paper, useless pieces of paper. Because if you read the Supreme Court decision in the Gitmo 2 situation and so on, the Supreme Court is emphatic that all agreements with foreign governments and entities and so on need to be ratified by Parliament before they can become effective. And since all of these agreements were not ratified by Parliament, these are worthless pieces of paper. They are not agreements. They cannot tie anybody's hands. I've heard people say that let's review the agreement. Let's change some clauses. No matter clauses, the number of clauses we change in this agreement, it will remain a very bad agreement. This agreement cannot be changed and cannot be improved. It is a bad agreement and we ought to reject it in full. And I'll show you why. And then some people say, but the agreement has been signed already, so what? The bond of 1844 was signed and yet we fought against it and got freedom from colonialism. We will do it again. Let them see that fire today and see whether this agreement